So, there was another shooting in Las Vegas. Second one in I don't know how many years, but the big one in Mandalay Bay where like 80 people got gunned down by a lone gunman, my ass. No way did one guy do this. In the previous video I made on that shooting, I suspect that drones were used with machine guns attached to them, special attack drones that they were trying out. Here we'll probably see, well, because of the Palestine-Israeli situation, we might see an Islamic terrorist attack, or possibly just a crazy person. But within the last 3 years, we've seen 3 million illegal migrants, or refugees as they want to be called, or they want us to call them. Yeah, if you have an open border and you are a world power, then your enemies in a turbulent global community will decide to take advantage of your open border and sneak in, either add to sleeper cells or just start causing fucking chaos. We're seeing all these stores get mobbed by huge groups of people. We're seeing cars get broken into so regularly that in San Francisco, people park and open their trunks and leave their windows rolled down so they don't break the glass, because it is, they can steal everything out of a car in a matter of seconds. They're having to build refugee centers in the middle of parks, literally making tent cities for these people to live in. They're diverting our tax money to these people who decided to enter our country in a very disrespectful way. Instead of applying for citizenship and going about this the right way, they decided to climb across a border, swim across a river. And these immigrants aren't just hardworking Mexican folk. They're from countries all over the world. Robert F. Kennedy talked about this. They're from Honduras, yes, but places like Haiti, as well as African countries. And we just saw yesterday 30 Chinese nationals that were waiting to get processed at the border. If we live in a community, a global community with different nation states competing against each other, and there are people who want to take America's position as a global superpower, because we have something like 200 military bases scattered throughout the world. We attack a country for next to no reason. We haven't won a war since World War II. We just get into this stalemate for the military-industrial complex to funnel money to the people who already have the most of it. Money is just energy. It is a magical instrument, these green Japanese spirit paper type things that have their arcane symbols and cryptograms woven into the very construction of the money itself. They're energy vampires that take the money from the people at the lowest socioeconomic rung on the ladder and filter it all up to the top 10%. They use taxes to do this, but also things like war, because we are literally a superpower only because we have the biggest military expenditures. We probably have technology that would make any country on this earth weep if they knew the full extent of it. I'm sure we have anti-gravity technology and space weapons, like I imagine they probably used whenever they attacked Hawaii recently to get out the poor indigenous population so they could buy up all of that land for pennies on the dollar and turn it into a second luxury resort for Oprah Winfrey to go enjoy whenever she's not sacrificing babies or whatever it is the global elites do. But they are acting in a way that is sinister, and they're doing this for dark spiritual reasons. I mean, Las Vegas is a part of their spiritual geography that is being targeted for a reason. I don't exactly know what that reason is. I think it has something to do with the Hoover Dam and Sin City being washed away by the waters of a woman who is having her water break, and the birth of a new age. I think it has something to do with that, but we always see these events, these shootings line up in spiritually important places. For instance, just last week, there was a car bomb that exploded on the bridge between the United States and Canada. It was an attack on a bridge with a car, and this bridge was called the Rainbow Bridge. If you know anything about Norse mythology, you know that the Rainbow Bridge is the spiritual path towards Asgard, or heaven, enlightenment. And in Tibetan mythology and in many other cultures, this rainbow garment, or this coat of many colors, or this light body is constantly referenced. This is because light does manifest from people who have achieved a state of spiritual oneness with the divine. It creates a halo of light around the person's most active chakra centers, appearing as rings of multicolored light, because the astral body is iridescent and multicolored, like a rainbow, like a rainbow bridge or a rainbow garment. They're attacking this bridge as a symbol, a magical symbol, a part of a larger global ceremony, which is all about siphoning energy from the population, feeding it to this cabal of elites. I mean, this has been done since Woodrow Wilson. This was conceived of ages ago. And if you read The Creature from Jekyll Island, you'll understand this. The bankers, the elite who planned to create the income tax in America, gathered together on an island that was once home to pagans, based on the archaeology, presumably Carthaginian Canaanite pagans. Literally, the house of, I think Rockefeller. Yeah, Rockefeller. I'm pretty sure it was Rockefeller. The house on that island, on Jekyll Island, is literally built on top of a sacrificial altar where these people killed other people for spiritual dark purposes, as part of a magical working, as part of a sinister ceremony. So whenever they kill us by waging war on us, or sending us to wage war on other people and we die in that process, or they just sap the life out of you by slowly poisoning you with glyphosates and aspartame and corn syrup and all these other like chemical warfare type agents, whether they kill you that way or with a bullet, they are conducting a human sacrifice. These kind of things happen all of the time now. It is literally like a bi-monthly thing that we have to expect. I mean, just yesterday, a house in Virginia exploded. The guy was Chinese, who, and the Chinese are our greatest adversary in this global game of chess that the elite are playing. Of course, they're going to have sleeper agents within our country conducting espionage and terrorist attacks. Sleeper cells are an obvious thing to do if the adversary you are waging this quiet war with has a fucking open border. Don't get me wrong, I don't think that we should have borders. I think that we should be a unified global community. We should get rid of the entire monetary system. But until that happens, countries should be sovereign. If you're going to have fucking countries, then you need to have fucking borders. If you're going to make enemies all over the planet, then for your own citizens' sake, at least vet the people who are coming into the country. But they don't care about that. They're destroying communities. They're destroying entire cities and states. I mean, California is a wasteland now. Everyone who had any sense moved out during COVID and got the fuck out of there. Instead of staying there and being a victim of mob violence or draconian vax mandates, they got the fuck out of California. But in San Francisco right now, they are literally parking their cars and opening their trunks and rolling down their windows so people don't break their windows and steal or try to steal something out of their trunk, do damage to their vehicles. So instead of parking and locking up and being able to, keep a purse in your trunk, people are having to literally leave their cars wide open because it will get broken into and the glass will be broken by the time you get back to your car. That's how frequent these events are. You can look at places like Kensington in PA. Like, it is a zombie march. It is a parade of people who look like they are the Walking Dead. They're poisoning us with not just things like glyphosate, but with fentanyl and meth and other chemicals that are just designed to break down the society to which they're introduced. This is just like the opium wars, where Britain decided to sell opium to all of the Chinese. I mean, this is payback. This is payback from the Oriental to the Occidental. It is global karma. Just like you experience karma throughout your life by doing something, there is a reaction. This is what the CIA calls blowback. And cultures have a much longer memory than individuals. So we will continue to see these type of attacks, like I said, especially because there are many more Muslims in America than there are Jews in America. And right now there's a conflict between these two cultures, and America will be, especially since we're, acting as a huge ally to Israel, we'll see Islamic terrorists who are doing terroristy things, blowing themselves up or shooting people. This is going to happen. It has happened before, and it will happen again. We are, white America, or America in general, is the great Satan, Babylon. We are the enemy of a third of the fucking planet who practices Islam. And the people who are in charge want the destruction of this country for some reason. They want the population degraded. They want the elimination of the middle class. They want small businesses closed down. They want everything locked up behind glass. So you have to call someone over to get deodorant from CVS. And they're making our society into a wasteland of closed businesses and foreclosed houses and parks completely filled up by the homeless who are living in tents. I mean, I was homeless for quite a while. I know how painful it is and how mentally taxing it is to not have a roof over your head, how draining it is, how humiliating and dehumanizing it is. That's the purpose of all this, to dehumanize, to make you an animal, because they already see you as useless eaters, as Henry Kissinger's dead ass used to call us. We're just useless eaters to them. They believe that they are something special. They are willing, not just willing, but excited to exterminate humans as part of their religious ceremony in this dark play that they're enacting. So, Las Vegas, home of the Big Black Pyramid, has been attacked again. We will see more of this as the country and the world slowly gets pushed into a World War III. More fronts will open up, more countries will attack. I imagine we'll see China go into Taiwan. I imagine we'll see India go into Pakistan. We'll see chaos erupt in Africa, and in Europe we'll see the same kind of slow dissolve as they eliminate their largest threat, which is a population working together to disrupt the beast system that they're creating, where you work all the time and the vast majority of your energy in the form of money gets taken from you and pushed to them. This is the slavery with more steps. They know that the middle class, or the proles even, if they unite against them, then their game is over. We have the numbers. I mean, there's 7.8 billion of us and like 400 or 500 of them. I mean, really like 30 fucking families. But beyond that, you have the bureaucracy and, the legislative, executive, and judicial branches of our government. They're all part of this same system. Hell, you are. We all are. Anyone who votes is fucking stupid. Nothing you say matters. Everything's planned out. They only give you two choices for a reason. Every 48 years, the opposite side feels like it's time to get their guy in there. It will make no fucking difference. It never fucking does. These are two sides of the same coin, red and blue, Democrat, Republican. If you look at it, they're just swapping out the guy every 48 years thinking they're going to get change. But change never happens. It keeps going the same way. Obama used policies that Bush put in place. Every president is bought and paid for. No one will shift us from this path that we are on, trudging along. The only real way to change what could be seen as geopolitical policy or our position within this country, as far as, basically slavery with extra steps, the only way to change that is to have an actual revolution, peaceful or otherwise. And that can only happen if all the people work together. So what do they do? What did they do after Occupy Wall Street? Occupy Wall Street scared the shit out of people who were in power. They said, oh God, they finally realized that they're getting fucked and have been since 1913 in the fucking creation of the income tax. These people are the descendants of people who revolted against the most powerful empire on planet Earth, the British Empire, for a fucking tax on tea. If you didn't get tea, you weren't taxed at all. You had zero taxes unless you drank fucking tea, and we thought that was too much. So we rebelled. These people are the descendants of those people. If they rise up against us, whatever shall we do? I know. Let's divide them. Let's introduce identity politics to them. Let's pit black against white, Jew against Muslim, but not poor against rich. Not the people who are living in a totalitarian, traumatizing state of fear at all times, barely scraping by, only having enough to eat. Occasionally, some people, a lot of people, are living in fucking tents, for Christ's sake. If the poor people fight against the rich, then it all falls apart. So what do? They fucking divide us. They play these ridiculous games. They pit brother against brother, human against human. They pit men against women. They pit husband against wife. They destroy the family unit. They divide us every way they can think of. They put these thoughts into your head that make it impossible to go through life without feeling resentment towards your fellow man. They make you racist and sexist and bigoted. And this goes for both sides of whatever topic you're talking about. The gay people are pissed at the straight people. The straight people are pissed at the gay people. The black are pissed at the white people. The whites are pissed at the black people. They both have valid points from their particular point of view. Most sides of every possible segment of the population. They are being brainwashed by these screens that you're using right now to watch this on. Everyone's being brainwashed. This is all part of a psychological package and a devious form of information warfare. You are in an info war, whether you realize it or not. And the only thing that scares them is us rising up with one voice, men, women, black, white, straight, and gay, all of us holding hands and marching on Washington, D.C., and marching through the gates of their billionaire mansions, or pulling up to their pedophile island in 3,000 fishing boats. This scares the shit out of them. They know they can't beat us in a fair fight. So they distract us. They dehumanize us. They make it so the only thing you're thinking about is how you can get more money to keep a roof over your head and gas in your car so you can get to work. It should sicken you to know how much these people hate you and how little they think of you. So try to keep that in mind whenever these things like today, that Las Vegas shooting happens. They are putting fear in you to keep you mentally chained, to keep you in a constant state of stress, to raise your cortisol levels to such an extent that you have strokes and heart attacks, which, that in combination with their fucking VAX, stopping a lot of hearts these days. Also, women aren't giving birth as much as they were before the pandemic. A lot of women are having problems with their reproductive systems. A lot of babies are dying before they ever get a chance to live. This is all part of their program. Their control grid that they've laced over our society in such a abstract way that it's not even visible. This matrix that holds you is all around you, and you don't realize it. It's controlled through these little screens, through money as well as emotions, information from many sources, media from many sources, all part of a control grid, a matrix. And they decide who's allowed into the control room. And if you go against the grain, they come after you. If you try to wake people up, really wake people up, not make them woke, but wake them up, they come after you. Look at Alex Jones and Sandy Hook. Look at Trump and the indictments. Anybody who's saying something that they don't like gets shut the fuck down. If you're a threat to them in the slightest, they'll shut you down. It's only when people unite together. No one man will ever save us from this. There will be no Gandhi here in America. There will be no Jesus returning to earth to spare you from the hell that they are creating. The only person that will be our savior is yourself. And if all of ourselves work together as one, then we can enact some real change. Then we can create a world that looks like someone with scruples and morals and ethics helped create it. This current system is fucking worse than slavery. It gives you the illusion of freedom and hope when there is none. Only if you have a tremendous amount of their magic money can you really live a proper human existence. And all the people who are actually given that blessing use it to do horrible fucking things. They buy mansions and multiple cars. I mean, they have garages full of cars, multiple yachts. Fuck, they had to tear down a bridge to get Jeff Bezos' super yacht through. Like an ancient historic bridge had to get destroyed in order to allow this rich motherfucker to have his super yacht come through because it was too tall and wide. And not just the extravagant things, that doesn't even really matter. They tell you that you shouldn't be able to eat the food that you want because it's bad for the environment. When they fly all around the planet in private jets, they tell you that your religion is hateful while they practice human sacrifice and cannibalism and spirit cooking. Pizzagate was real, is continuing to happen daily. Another big reason why they want to make sure the border stays open, so that Joe Biden will have an infinite supply of these expendable child sex slaves, so that Hillary Clinton can properly worship Moloch. Yes, she talks about Moloch in her emails too. Did you know that? Did you know that she talked about a demon that requires child sacrifice? Did she tell you that? No. Did the media tell you that she literally mentions Moloch in her emails that everyone was talking about? No. They don't tell you the real shit that's going on in the news. They just give you a narrative to fit their info war. Whether it's Fox News or CNN, none of those motherfuckers are telling you the truth. They're not telling you that John Podesta, who is an infamous pedophile, in fact, Andrew Breitbart was killed for bringing up the fact that John Podesta is a notorious pedophile, that him and his brother raped and killed a little girl in Portugal. No one's telling you that shit. Guess where John Podesta is? A guy who said that if Trump won, the West Coast should break off from the rest of the United States and become its own country in war games if Trump won in 2020. This motherfucker is working in the White House right now. I don't care about Hunter Biden fucking using cocaine or sleeping with prostitutes or smoking meth or crack. I don't care about that. I care about the fucking little girls that he has literally surrounding him in flower crowns, which represent virginity, rubbing him with their feet. That's what I care about. These sick, sinister things that they all do. This fucking, just a couple months ago, Obama's chef ends up drowning in like 3 feet of water. And if you do your research, you'll realize that Clinton had a chef that also died. Why is that? Maybe it's because of the meals they're preparing. Maybe it's because babies were on the menu. Keanu Reeves said he went to a Hollywood party one time and there was a brown baby and a white baby in the refrigerator, like a fucking watermelon. That's how they treat us. These are the people that we are in a spiritual war against. These are the people that created the system that occupies 99% of your fucking mind. You have to not allow them to blow up the Rainbow Bridge, not allow them to sacrifice you at the bottom of the Black Pyramid in Las Vegas. You have to work with other like-minded people, like the people who are watching this video, and work together as a community to enact some real change. It won't happen politically. You won't be able to vote your way out of this. This is a spiritual battle. If you vote, you're just sending your consent to this evil system and signifying that you are a believer in something that is utterly failed and beyond failed, designed to destroy you, to suck you dry of all of your love, all of your energy, your very health, to end your line, your lineage genetically, to wipe you off this fucking planet. That's what we're at war against. And you need to realize that and share this kind of information with other people. Work together. So yeah, keep your head high. Don't live in fear. Don't live in fear.